So instead of doing debates today, we're going to do something different. As a lot of the atheist community has heard, Arwen had a house fire yesterday. So I'm not trying to get a lot of people in here, just people who know the situation, and I am doing. Okay. So so in your deconstruction journey and like leading up to it, what did you believe so deeply growing up that now feels completely different to you?
Just the belief in a higher being. I
Just
grew up believing in one, and now I don't. And going from believing in one to not believing in one was somewhat jarring.
okay. Uh, did you ever feel like you were performing belief rather than genuinely believing?
No, I think I genuinely believed it.
Okay, and was there ever a time where you like maybe felt like you were trying to in your deconstruction journey? Did you ever feel like you were trying to continue to believe even though you were starting deconstruct like you had started deconstructing?
I mean, yeah, because you're taking down a worldview, so you're changing away from everything that you've known up to that point, and I think it's a very uncomfortable thing to do. So I think a lot of people will say that they kind of held tried to hold on to their beliefs whenever
Okay.
deconstructing.
And next question. Growing up, were there any questions you were told not to ask?
None that I can think of, none specifically.
Okay. Was there a point where you realized your beliefs were inherited, not chosen, or do you feel like you always had a choice in what you believed?
I think I had a choice, but I didn't. I don't think I ever realized it until later. I kind of like forced myself to have that choice in a way. I definitely
Okay.
think they were inherited because of how heavily indoctrinated I was.
Okay. Interesting. Looking back, like when you were first starting to deconstruct, do you think fear played a role in keeping you committed?
Say it one more time. Sorry.
Um, Looking back, do you think fear played a role in keeping you committed to the faith?
I wouldn't put it to the extent of fear. I would just say nerves.
Okay. And was there a specific event, conversation, or experience that first pushed you toward questioning your belief?
Yes, there was. It was the last church that I went to. The pastor was exposed as a PDF and someone who way too much enjoyed adult beverages.
Okay.
I gotta be TikTok friendly.
Yes, indeed. Um, and was he trying to get help for the heavily adult beveraged persona?
Uh, as far as I know, he was, um, or at least he was in certain programs every now and then whenever I heard about him, but he just didn't stick to them.
Okay. Uh, so did your deconstruction happen gradually, or was it like a single breaking point?
I would say the process itself was gradual, but the start of it was definitely a very heavy breaking point.
Okay. Was there a moment like while you were deconstructing where you felt guilty for just asking questions about it?
I mean, yeah, yeah, I would say yeah. You don't want
Uh,
to
was
you don't
like,
want to essentially throw away your worldview, if that makes sense.
yeah, okay. Next question. Did you like while you were deconstructing, did you ever like try harder to believe before accepting your doubts and like continuing to question?
I would say yes. Okay, again, just going back to breaking down a worldview and having to make another one. It's never comfortable to do that, so I feel like you would want to hold on to what you already know.
Did curiosity ever feel dangerous to you?
Not dangerous, but never like it was always ill-informed. Like if I think that's how I want to say that.
Okay. Did it ever stop feeling like that?
Yeah, once I like fully convinced myself that the religion was a sham, it got much easier to express my curiosity and want to actually learn about the stuff that I was believing in or previously believing in.
Um, what was the hardest part emotionally about questioning your worldview?
Knowing that it would disappoint the people around me, in my real life at least.
Okay. Okay, next question. Did you feel fear or like when you first allowed yourself to consider being wrong?
Uh, Again, fear, I wouldn't put it to that extent. I would just say very nervous, very anxious.
So you were more anxiety ridden than you were
Right.
fearful.
Yeah, fear was never
Okay,
necessarily a factor for me when it came to the deconstruction part.
that's good to know. Um, were there moments where you wished you could stop questioning and just go back?
No, I don't think so. I feel like questioning it made me, like, even if I did stick around in the faith, I do feel like it made me a lot smarter of a person.
Okay. How did you separate what you believed and like what you were questioning versus who you were expected to be by the people around you?
Say it one more time.
How did you separate like what you believed and what you were questioning to versus like who you were expected to be from people around you, like your family and your community?
Um, I don't think I ever just recognized that there was a difference there. I kind of just did my own thing, and whoever they expected me to be, if I ended up being that, great. If not, great.
Okay. Did questioning ever make you feel isolated from the people you loved?
1000%. I live in the Bible Belt, and when you're not a Christian in the Bible Belt, it kind of draws attention, and they don't like it when you do that. So the attention you get is the quote unquote shunning.
Okay. Uh, what part of your identity felt most threatened during deconstruction?
Um, Probably my political identity. I very much had a traditionalist view when it came to how I saw things politically. I would say that I got reshaped a lot whenever I started breaking away.
Okay. How did the people closest to you react when your beliefs started changing?
They were not happy, very disappointed, especially my grandmother, given how devout of a Christian she is. She was not a fan.
So, when you were first acting, did you like hear that?
Hold on, you're a robot.
I'm a robot? Can you
Where
hear
do you
me?
go, Robo Ace? There you are.
Can you hear me now?
I think it's good now. Yeah, I think it's good now.
Okay. When you were first like deconstructing and doubting your beliefs, did you hide it?
At first, yeah. I tried to keep it to myself for the most part until I had the comfort and confidence to actually go out and talk about it.
Oh, so when you hid it, was it like for a specific reason, like you trying to become confident in the way you were thinking,
You're a
or was
robot
it
again.
like, was it? I don't fucking know why. Can you hear me?
Yes. Last thing I heard was it for like a
Okay.
specific reason or
This fucking couch pisses me off. Um, so when you were plotting, was there a particular reason why you hid it, or was it like a reasons?
it cut out the last couple words you said.
Was it for a particular reason or a multitude of reasons?
There we go. I would say just like the single reason I didn't want to. At first, I didn't want to disappoint the people around me until I was comfortable enough with myself to accept that people would be disappointed in me for choosing the way that I did,
Okay.
or for believing the way that I did.
Um, did you lose relationships because of your deconstruction?
Yes, I had a lot of very, very close friends back when I was still in the church, and once I broke away from it, it just all of those fell apart.
Okay. Did you ever feel pressure to stay silent about what you were experiencing?
Kind of. Definitely when I started being more open about it, people would not want to hear it. Um, given where I live, they were always very not willing to hear me out or hear the questions that I wanted to ask.
Okay,
They always saw skepticism as an issue.
gotcha. Did your deconstruction affect the way you saw your family or your community?
Yes, absolutely. I realized that a lot of the things that I was supporting and believing in were not things that I should be supporting or believing in.
Okay. Next question. Did anyone surprise you with support when you started questioning?
Not really, no. I didn't have much support until about a year ago. Um, I was fortunate enough to find a community a year ago that was willing to take me in. Up until then, it had been probably 13 to 14 years until I found that community. So I was doing it alone for that long.
Okay. Um, did leaving certain feelings, like certain beliefs, feel freeing, terrifying, or did you feel a little bit of both?
I would say both. Again, oh, excuse me, breaking down a worldview is never easy. It's never fun, but once you do it, the freedom that you feel, it's like chains have been taken off of you. You know.
Yeah.
Hi, Espe.
Okay. What emotions came up when you realized you no longer believed what you once did?
Contentment. I was very. I've been much happier since I left the faith. I'm realizing a lot of things that I'm able to do now, or things that I'm able to say, able to be, now that I'm not a part of the faith anymore. It was very liberating.
That was very liberating for you. Um, do you think anger played a role in your deconstruction journey?
Yes. Especially with that one pastor. That pissed me off to no end. I'm still mad about it.
I don't blame you. Uh, was there grief involved in letting go of beliefs that once brought you comfort?
Yeah, again, the breaking down of a worldview, not fun.
Um, what did the uncertainty feel like to you after living with certainty for so long?
Honestly, it was kind of fun in a way. I've always been a big learner. I love learning things. So getting away from such a narrow mindset and actually expanding into other ideas and ideologies, it was kind of fun in a way.
Interesting. Did you ever feel betrayed by people or institutions you once trusted?
Yes, absolutely. The church with the pastor.
That church with the pastor is going to come up pretty often for you, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. I feel like he is.
Okay. So next question is, if you could talk to your younger self before deconstruction, what would you say?
Don't let them indoctrinate you as hard. You do have a choice to believe in this stuff or not. Choose to question it. Don't choose not necessarily to not believe in it, but choose to question it a lot more and a lot sooner than you did.
Valid. Is there anything you miss about the version of yourself before you started questioning?
No, not really. I have been much happier with myself and the person that I've become since leaving the faith. Like I said, my mindset was very narrow. I had very poor ideals when I was still in the faith, and since leaving, I think I've become a hell of a person.
Okay. What part of your worldview do you understand differently now? Now that you are deconstructed and away from the faith.
Um, I can take it back to like my political ideologies. I was able to open my eyes a lot more to different oppressions that were happening, and I was able to identify in a way that made me more comfortable. I wasn't being held to some make believe standard that was set by a book from thousands of years ago.
Do you think your past beliefs shaped you positively in any way?
Um, I mean, yeah, because growing up in it and then growing up away from it, or learning who I was away from it, I think that was quite beneficial to me.
Okay. Uh, was deconstruction more about losing faith or learning how to think differently for you?
I would say learning how to think differently, because it was never. the intention itself to lose the faith, but there were factors that made me question it, and it just ended up happening. I just wanted to learn.
Okay. Um, what was there a truth you were afraid to admit to yourself?
Mm, not really, no. So if it's the truth, I want to know it.
Okay. Um, did you ever realize that you were defending beliefs you hadn't actually examined?
Um, Not until the deconstruction journey started, I never really got that notion whenever I was still in the faith.
But while you were deconstructing,
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely. No, it
okay.
was once I started deconstructing, it was very easy to tell what I did and didn't actually look into. Because
Interesting.
of course, being indoctrinated, of course, they're going to tell you all the good, wholesome, enlightening stuff that's in the Bible, but they never show you the bad shit.
And what did it cost you to become intellectually honest with yourself?
A lot of relationships with friends, approval from family members, really like really that's it. Just people around me didn't want to be around me as much or to the same capacity because I was starting to believe differently than they did.
And I feel you've already answered this question, but I'm going to ask again.
That's fine.
Uh, was there a moment where choosing authenticity meant disappointing everyone around you?
Yeah. Um, that's like my family. They've been Christians their whole lives, and up until I was like 14, I was too.
Okay,
And choosing to be authentic to myself and my willingness to learn, it caused a lot of bridges to burn down.
understandable. Uh, now I'm going to ask, for those listening that may be considering, like, that may be deconstructing or on their deconstruction journey, I'm going to ask some advice for them, okay?
Okay.
Um, what would you say to someone who has started questioning beliefs they've held their entire life?
Don't be afraid of it. Just if you're questioning, that means you're looking to get smarter and understand what it is you're believing in. I think avoidance of questioning it is just refusal to be open-minded.
And if someone feels afraid to question their religion, where do you think they should begin?
Just start small instead of breaking down the worldview itself. Just pick out aspects of it, like just you can cherry pick the Bible and just find things that you don't necessarily agree with or something like that.
Okay. Uh, how would you go about how do you tell the difference between genuine doubt and fear of disappointing others?
Um, I mean, they kind of coincide. Like once you start doubting, especially something like religion, the disappointment just kind of follows suit. There's not a way that I can think of to get away from it.
Okay.
Just do your
Um,
best to not necessarily push it aside, but just kind of set it to the back of your mind for the time being, because I promise you will get comfortable enough to start actually talking about it openly, and you'll have the confidence to be able to do all that. You just got to give yourself time.
What first step would you recommend to someone quietly beginning deconstruction?
Uh, Ask your questions. Go on Google, go on whatever, and like you can find different sources for different things that will help you in what questions to ask, or they'll give you the answers that you're looking for.
Surprisingly, I like the question Raysol just put in the comment section. What was the hardest thing to let go about religion?
I think the worldview itself, having to break down the first one and get into the next one, because again, I mean, it's everything you've known up until a certain point, and you're just tearing it down, and then you have to build a new one from the ground up.
Okay. Um, how can someone start questioning beliefs when they've been taught like questioning is dangerous?
Um, that's a good question. Just ignore them saying it's dangerous. It's not, because not every time will it break you from your faith. If you want to stay in your faith, if you start questioning it, it won't break you away from your faith. There's, there's nothing to be
Okay.
afraid of with questioning it. Just having an open mind is always a good thing.
Now, what advice would you give someone grieving the loss of beliefs they once held with certainty?
Ignore it. Just push it to the side. You're gonna have that grief, but you can't let it like control you to any degree. Just continue questioning
Okay.
and keep on the same path that you're going if it's something that you truly want to do.
Um, how should someone deal with guilt that comes from questioning teachings they grew up with?
Say that one more time.
How do you, how should someone deal with guilt that comes from questioning things they grew up with?
Again, just ignore it. The guilt's gonna be there. There's not gonna be much that you can do about it aside from either embracing it or ignoring it. I would say ignoring it is the better option. Because if you embrace it, you're just gonna sink right back into the shell that you were already in, the shell that you're actively trying to break out of.
Okay. I have a question that I don't have on my sheet, but I feel it's a very important question to ask.
Okay.
What about the people who they stick to the religion because it's a community?
There's plenty of other communities out there. If community is all you're looking for, and the community that you're in is one that you're not comfortable with, you can find a new community. All you have to do is look. I mean, especially in the deconstruction area, like I mean, you have so many different creators who have their own Discord channel or servers rather, and especially in other servers, there will be some people in there with their own channels, like for example, Christina the Godless, who has the Girls Gone Godless Discord server itself, and then they have their own tabs in the Deconstructing Chaos. They have one in your server. So just all you got to do is look. If the community you're in truly makes you that uncomfortable, just look for a new one. I promise you'll find one.
And for anybody that is looking for a community, I do open up my Discord so that way you can have that sense of community. Um, all you have to do is message either me or Bread, and yeah, just message me or Bread.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't bite
what do
usually.
what do people often misunderstand about the emotional weight of deconstruction?
It's gonna be hard. I think a lot of people do understand that, but they don't understand the extent of how hard it'll be. It's not an easy thing to go from worldview to worldview. I know I'm reverting back to that a lot, but
Tiny also has opened up saying he's always available too, by the way.
yeah, like there's so many communities out there that you can find and get in. Some communities don't allow actively deconstructing people. Um, a lot of them do though. So just keep looking around and hang out in comment sections of live streams or something like that.
I don't know very many that don't allow like actively
I don't either,
deconstructing people.
but I'm sure there's some out there.
How do you handle the loneliness that sometimes comes with changing beliefs?
Um, in a way, you kind of have to embrace it because you're gonna feel lonely, especially at the start of questioning it, because people are gonna, again, they're gonna shun you for changing how you look at the world. They're not gonna agree with how you're looking at the world, so just
Do
embrace
you
the
feel that
loneliness because you'll come out of it eventually.
do you feel that makes it harder for people first starting to deconstruct
I
to
think it
continue
can,
deconstruct?
but if you just stick with it, you'll be okay. It won't be the end of the world for sure.
The next question: what
Yep.
helps people stay grounded when old certainties begin disappearing?
Um, for me, it was always just my willingness to learn and to be uncertain in my certainties, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you're going to have things that you believe, but why do you believe them is the question that you should be asking. Like, that kind of uncertainty, I think, is what kind of drove me.
What habits help people think
Yeah, and
independently
what Tiny said for the last question, investigation and
investigating?
research.
Okay. What habits help people think independently when they've spent years trusting authority figure?
What habits?
Yeah.
Um, just again, get into a habit of investigation and research. Actually question the things that you're standing for and see if there are things that you think would be worth standing for.
How can someone learn to separate fear-based thinking from honest inquiry?
I think the open-mindedness of it all. The more open-minded you are, the more genuine, honest inquiry you're gonna have. But when you stay closed-minded, if you're seeing other things, it's gonna generate fear because they're challenging the worldview that you're holding.
Okay. What advice do you have for someone whose family or community may react badly to their questions?
Um, just stay good faith when other people aren't. Um, it's a very real thing to unalive them with kindness and just being amicable.
Okay, my next question is going to be, do you think people should share their deconstruction journey publicly or keep it private while processing?
Uh, no, I mean, share it because you never know. who could be listening and who is in the middle of their journey, and you could help them either, depending on what they want, you could help them either grow stronger in their faith or get further away from it. I think it's always helpful to be as open as you can with your deconstruction journey.
Okay. How do you navigate relationships when loved ones see questioning as betrayal?
Um, it's gonna happen. Just be accepting of it. There's nothing that you're gonna be able to do to change it, except for reverting back to the old worldview that you wanted or that you once held. So just be okay with it. It's gonna happen. Just try not to let it eat you up.
How would you tell people to protect their mental well-being when the worldview is shifting dramatically?
Stay open-minded. Be willing to hear differences in opinions or things that dispute what you're thinking about.
Okay. Uh, what do you tell people who fear? What do you tell people who feel pressure to pretend they still believe?
Um, don't. Um, that's the indoctrination talking. That's the fear of your worldview falling apart talking. Don't let that control you. Control yourself.
Okay. And so I got five more questions for you.
Okay?
What do you wish someone had told you when you first started questioning?
That it's an okay thing to do. There's nothing wrong with wanting to further your understanding of things.
Okay. How do people avoid rushing from one dogmatic worldview straight into another?
Say it one more time.
How do people avoid rushing from one dogmatic worldview straight into another?
Um, I mean, literally, just take your time. Deconstructing is a process. It is not a linear process either. You're not gonna make it in one day. You might not even make it in one decade. Just take your time with it. Don't rush, because all you're gonna do if you rush is get incorrect ideas, and you're just gonna confuse yourself even more.
Okay. What does intellectual freedom actually feel like once fear begins fading?
Um, Very liberating. It's nice to not have to abide to a certain set of rules, especially when they're rules that you don't think you believe in. There's much more freedom of thinking, breaking away from the faith.
How do you rebuild values and meaning after leaving a belief system behind?
What do you mean by value? Like morality values, stuff like that?
Like values in general, morality would be the biggest one, wouldn't it?
That would be one of them, yeah. I think just listening to how others talk about it and using your own critical thinking skills to determine what you think is right and wrong, because a lot of these things truly are subjective and can vary from person to person. So just listen to a bunch of different opinions and what a bunch of different people have to say, and then come to your own conclusions.
So do you think for most people deconstruction is about losing beliefs or learning how to think differently for the first time?
I think both. It would depend on the religious background that they have. Like, for someone like me being heavily indoctrinated, it kind of turned into losing the belief. But I think a lot of people would say that it would be for losing the belief when it comes to the indoctrination.
Okay. Uh, Now for the very end of your amazing, wonderful interview,
Hmm.
plug yourself.
Plug myself. Hello everyone. My name is Brad. I am a mod in here for Ace and also a mod for my good friend Heathen Decon. Um, Heathen Decon tends to go live very early in the morning. I would say about 4 a.m. Eastern Standard. In here we go live about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. So you'll see me around, telling people to shut up and stop saying bad words in my chat and on my panels. Um, if you want to follow me, go ahead. I think I'm pretty cool. I'm very much an open book, so anything you want to know about me, or if you ever have any questions that you think I could answer, feel free to hit me up. I don't do much else outside of that.